After taking a brief hiatus from outdoor activities and workout routines, it's time to get back to the grind with new spring essentials from Mack Weldon. With body mapping technology and fabric mesh zones, Mack Weldon's Stealth Boxer Briefs deliver enhanced breathability and support. And for sweatpants you can wear outside without feeling like you're wearing sweatpants, check out Mack Weldon's new Ace line. I'm doing some spring cleaning myself, and I plan on replacing all my old casuals with Mack Weldon Stealth Boxer Briefs and Ace sweatpants. From socks, shirts, and hoodies to underwear, polos, or active shorts, Mack Weldon promises comfort and consistent fits. From working out, going to work, or going on a date, Mack Weldon is for everyday life. And with Weldon Blue, Mack Weldon's totally free loyalty program, you'll get free shipping for life. Mack Weldon wants you to be comfortable, so if you don't like your first pair of underwear, you can keep them and they'll refund you, no questions asked. For 20% off your first order, visit MackWeldon.com/peasants and enter promo code peasants. That's MackWeldon.com/peasants, promo code peasants, PEASANTS for 20% off. Mack Weldon, reinventing men's basics.
In the beginning, there was nothing. And then there was the Drunken Peasants Podcast.
I gotta get away with this. No!
Say, man, you got a joint? No, not on me, man.
I don't have facts to back this up.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
That's true. Sometimes I cry.
Lick my butthole, he laughed.
From the strangest corners of the internet, here to bring you opinions of the world from an altered perspective. Here are your hosts, the Drunken Peasants.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Drunken Peasants Podcast, episode 849. One away from 850. That's not really that significant of a number, but it's a nice round number. 850.
It's a nice number.
Yeah, 850. So we're at 849, which isn't quite as good. So expect a mediocre, even more so than usual performance tonight.
Yeah, tonight's gonna suck.
Mediocre.
It's gonna be a really good one actually because I slept in till 4 p.m. today, so I'm so refreshed.
Okay.
It's going to be great.
Interesting. Yeah, it should be interesting. We're going to talk about the Dr. Seuss thing, which we'll get into it, but I'm not so surprised about. And in fact, if he was still alive, they'd probably cancel him outright.
All I can say is it's about time.
I wouldn't say that necessarily. It's funny because when I was a kid, I used to go to the library all the time when I was a kid too. Even when I was really young, and those were always pushed to me as like really good books for like young children to read. So it's interesting how it's come full circle at this point. Like, I don't know. We'll get into it later. I want to remind everyone, if you have any basic attention tokens, please send them to the Drunken Peasants. Just click on that little triangle up at the top of your Brave browser and send us.
And if you're not using the Brave browser, click the Brave browser link. When you get the Brave browser, they're going to give you a whole different experience for viewing. They're going to take away ads and stuff, so you don't have those intrusive people trying to sell you stuffs. And you get the basic attention tokens just by watching us, and you can give it to us, so it's like a new way to monetize your viewing.
Yeah, this kind of started after the whole adpocalypse thing. It's a new way of monetizing content. So it basically cuts out the middleman, which is YouTube.
It's crypto-based, right?
Yes. Yeah, dude, bats are doing really well today in particular. So it's good. I'm actually keeping an eye on them right now because they're getting pretty high again. The general value of basic attention tokens has gone up a lot over the last month and a half or so.
If bats explode like Bitcoin did, will you buy yourself a Batmobile?
They will never explode like Bitcoin. So anyway, click on the triangle up at the top. Click on it, And then you'll see a thing where it'll say DP verified create. Oh, shit. Hold on. I forgot. I have to do this. Yeah, you can just click on the triangle up here.
I don't know if they can see it yet, can they?
Oh, no. Now they can. Oh, no. Hold on.
This is interesting.
Yeah, I'm still getting used to this new software. I
like this screen.
Here we go. Here it comes.
We're going into forever.
There we go. So, yeah, click the triangle, click on send a tip. You can send us tips. I'll be getting notifications if you do. Please do it. And please like the stream. And we're going to move on to something wonderful.
Something real.
Something real. It's so real, it's called DP Action News. Here we go.
Yes.
He called me, sir, and it got me so human angry.
People are discriminating against wolves.
Wow. They're laughing at us, at our stupidity.
And you better well learn to love it.
All right. And no, I would not buy a Batmobile, just to answer that question. I've never wanted a Batmobile.
I think if you were that rich, though, like to honor bats exploding, you'd have to get like some sort of car, and that could be your Batmobile because you bought it with bats.
I bought it with money that I bought from selling bats. Yes.
Yeah.
Which I haven't done in a long time. I'm holding on to bats and watching the price go up.
You have a bat cave?
That's where I tuck them away. So an actual representative. So since Nick Fuentes isn't allowed in Cpac, he has his own almost like TanaCon. Yeah, on the side. And remember last year Alex Jones was there and he was all drunk.
Was that his TanaCon?
Basically, I can't remember the name of it right now.
I think it's called D-Bag.
D-Bag. Yeah, that's what it is. So a congressman from Arizona actually spoke at it. It's interesting. Here's a local Arizona news report about it.
It's new tonight. Arizona Congressman Paul Gosar has come under scrutiny in the last 2 months for his alleged role in the Capitol riot. Now Gosar is taking heat again, this time for headlining a white supremacist group's annual convention over the weekend. Team 12 political insider Graham Resnick has more on what Gosar did and what we know about this group.
Congressman Gosar's support for extreme ideas isn't new, but experts on extremism say Gosar's presence at this event boosts this hate group's credibility.
This country wouldn't exist without white people. And white people are done being bullied.
That's Nick Fuentes, leader of the white supremacist America First movement, speaking this weekend.
A country without a border is not a country. A nation without a people is not a nation.
And that's Republican
I heard that they're going to cancel that duck from the Aflac commercials because he accidentally said AFPAC one day.
He knows. This dude knows that he's at a white nationalist convention.
Of course he does.
But he's gonna pretend like he didn't know.
Well, he'll be like, well, maybe.
And Paul Gosar of Arizona, keynote speaker this weekend at Fuentes' second annual America First gathering.
Hate doesn't change. Only the face of hate will change.
Former Mesa cop Matt Browning has covered far-right hate groups for years.
Nick Fuentes is just another person who's picking up where somebody else dropped off.
And by picking up a sitting congressman to headline his event.
Yeah, the so-called white people that founded America, none of them had a name like Fuentes. Just saying. It's funny how, like, he has a similar skin tone to certain people, so he can take credit for their accomplishments for some reason. I don't understand how that works.
The Spaniards got here before a lot of our current whites did.
Not here.
Well, not here, but yeah, they got to the Americas, right?
The Americas. That's a pretty large, massive land. So
experts say Fuentes' brand of hate gets some credibility. Devin Burkhardt is another expert on right-wing groups.
How big a deal is it for them to have a sitting
and it's not about discovery. He's talking about the founding of the country.
congressman at an event?
It's a huge deal for them.
Gosar told one reporter he accepted the America First invitation to, quote, reach young conservatives. But Fuentes and his group were...
He just did it to reach young conservatives.
In the middle of the Capitol insurrection.
Unfortunately, all young conservatives just happen to be alt-right.
Yeah.
Doing just the slightest bit of due diligence would tell you who Nick Fuentes was and the kind of role that America First
was he walking?
Just play.
Is there something wrong with that guy's
Gosar's
legs?
office didn't respond
He was
to her.
walking like a snake from Solid Snake. You know, he does his little crouch. Half-pack.
Quest for comment.
Canceled.
In Phoenix, Bram Resnick, 12 News.
His voice got canceled. Okay, so here's the Dr. Seuss thing. Actually, I'm going to play this video next. I'll bring up the article on it here.
I have an image I'm going to send you. I don't know if it's in this or not. But
is it the Asian thing?
No, it's a similar
Okay.
one. I'm trying to copy it, and I'm getting some situations, some copy paste situations.
That's fine. We'll
hopefully
just,
this works.
You can get it.
But let me click and see if it opens up the right thing. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm a boomer. 6 Dr. Seuss books cease publication for hurtful and wrong portrayals.
And that's the quote. Hurtful and wrong
What are the
portrayals.
6?
I think they name them here. I know the one is the one that I put in the thumbnail.
Dr. Seuss Enterprises announced this morning that they will stop publishing 6 of Dr. Seuss's picture books amid accusations of racist imagery. The company that seeks to preserve and protect the author's works released a statement explaining these 6 books portray people in ways that are hurtful and wrong. The titles being discontinued include And to Think That I Saw It on Mulberry Street, If I Ran the Zoo, McElligot's Pool, On Beyond Zebra, Scrambled Eggs Super, and The Cat's Quizzer.
And I want to point out, none of these are among his more notable works. You know, there's no Cat in the Hat or Green Eggs and Ham on here. Horton Hears a Who. None of that.
Yeah. He did a lot of books.
He also did propaganda films during World War II, which is interesting. I have a couple clips of that.
Like Warner Brothers, Bugs Bunny was doing propaganda films too.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if Disney was.
I would say Warner Brothers is a little different than like literature for very young children.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers was known to be violent and have more adult themes than Dr. Seuss.
My Chrome browser froze up trying to get you this image.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
I'm wondering.
Let's move on.
I'm wondering if, like, you know, I'm on like a Nazi watch list now. Oops. Dr. Seuss Enterprises said they're committed to action and made the decision to cease publication of these books after consulting educators and reviewing its catalog. Ceasing sales of these books is only part of our commitment and our broader plan to ensure Dr. Seuss Enterprises catalog represents and supports all communities and families, the statement said. I mean, canceling these books, if they actually have that imagery in it, whatever. Like, these books probably aren't selling that well anyways.
I mean, I think they should be available if people want to get them.
They will be in back catalog, right?
Sure. Maybe print them as ordered, but just don't mass produce them. I don't know.
Ooh.
The guy was born in 1904.
Today in 1904.
Yeah.
Happy 117th birthday, Theodore Seuss Ted Giesel.
Of course he's going to have different ideas about certain things, and just like I said, you know, I was born in the 80s, turned 18 in 99. I was taught throughout my life that Dr. Seuss was important reading for children and very wholesome kind of content.
A lot of it is.
Yeah.
I don't think we can just throw away Dr. Seuss's work because some of it reflected the times in which it was created.
Sure.
And we can't forget the times in which this was created. This is the nation we were. Like, he was hired by the government for propaganda, or did he do it independently? Because the government did hire animators and creators to make propaganda. Like the Warner Brothers Bugs Bunny cartoons were paid for by the government to make propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
They had that little character, little army dude. I can't remember his damn name.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He was paid for by the government, and they always had some questionable stuff in those too. But that's part of our history. We can't just act like it never happened.
Yeah, whitewashing history because people are offended by history is a bad idea. It's okay for us to say it happened. We look back on it now and it's bad, but it happened. We shouldn't ignore it. Society changes, and that's just how it is, whether we agree with the changes or not. But we shouldn't just act like erase it. Getting rid of books is a scary thing. Getting rid of literature, even horrible literature, even outwardly offensive stuff. I don't know. I think it should be allowed to remain available. If for nothing else but a record that it existed.
Yeah. Do we have some of the imagery around this? We could finish reading this little thing here.
I'll play I have this video that shows a lot of the imagery. Here it is.
It's the 60th anniversary.
This is kind of old. This is a year old, I think. So it's actually
Dr. Seuss was a beloved icon of children's books. But did he also have a history of racism?
He might have. He was born in the early 1900s.
Some critics have pointed out
Seuss
Seuss depicted African Americans as monkeys or tribal cannibals.
Now, I don't think these are African American. Well, I mean, maybe. This looks like a guy on safari, so I don't think they're Americans. I think they're just Africans.
Yeah, I think if you ever went to Disneyland and went on the boat ride they have, there was a portrayal of natives there that was really questionable up until last year. I think they said they're going to take them out during the COVID thing because that was one of the original rides that hadn't been changed. But they're like, you know what, this is kind of...
There's a whole native segment in Peter Pan that'll probably eventually get that movie canceled. But I do want to point out that it's saying African Americans. These people are clearly... I mean, I don't agree with them being drawn the way they are, making them look not human, but it's the way they're dressed and the way the white guy is portrayed as someone on safari. I don't believe that these are African Americans.
Is he spraying? Oh, it says flit. I thought he was spraying lit spray on them. I was like, that's lit. Such as this 1929 cartoon depicting African American man up for sale.
This could be African Americans.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Take home a high grade for your wood pile. Satisfaction guaranteed. Yeah, that's pretty cut and dry. Can't argue this one. And during the 1940s, Seuss may have stoked racial antagonism against the Japanese, like just about everybody did.
Everybody did at that point.
We had camps for the Japanese.
Right. I don't think Dr. Seuss was just playing along.
Yeah.
It's still wrong, but he wasn't responsible for it. Like
he
you
didn't
said,
create it.
Like you said, there were concentration camps. We always and obviously it wasn't exactly the same as the concentration camps in Germany, but we can't be like, oh, those Nazis are bad. They had concentration camps and they put people in there just because of their race and religion, when we literally put people based on their race in concentration camps during the same war.
Yeah.
It's pretty messed up. And we dropped nukes on them. No other country's ever done that before.
Portraying them as dopey and virulent threat. As a dopey, he publicly supported Japanese incarceration and killing at internment camps. Stating to his biographer, if we want to win, we've got to kill the Japanese, but that's not the word used. Dr. Seuss died in 1991, having never directly apologized or addressed the racism of his early work. Oh, 1991? That's when Biden was still working hard towards the crime bill and everything. Like, we weren't ready for that yet. We were still calling hip hop music the worst thing in the world. It hadn't been adopted as the best thing in the world yet. Like, that was not the America where we would be apologizing for stuff that happened 40 years ago. Now, luckily, we're in America where we're going to apologize for stuff that hasn't happened yet, as well as stuff that happened hundreds of years before any of us were alive.
I'm apologizing now for everything wrong that I've ever done and will do for the rest of my life.
See, I'm the same.
That is my blanket apology.
I'm the same, except I don't mean it. I will apologize for everything and mean not a lick of the apology.
There you have it, folks. Billy the Fridge is disingenuous.
What? Only my apologies.
There was a testimony. The director of the FBI basically said no evidence any Capitol rioters were Antifa.
Well,
do you have any evidence that the Capitol attack was organized by, quote, fake Trump protesters?
We have not seen evidence of that at this stage, certainly.
In testimony to the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee on Tuesday, FBI Director Chris Wray debunked conspiracy theories promoted by right-wing supporters of former President Donald Trump, telling lawmakers that there was no evidence that leftist extremists disguised themselves as Trump supporters to storm the U.S. Capitol.
We have not to date seen any evidence of anarchist violent extremists or people subscribe.
When Trump spoke at Cpac, he said the Biden administration is has had the most disastrous first 2 months in any administration ever. And it's like, no, it was like par for the course.
Did you hear?
There was a bunch of executive orders. There's him trying to get his cabinet in, and we attacked the Middle East. That is par for the course for a new president.
COVID numbers are going down right now.
That is,
I don't even know if we can attribute it to him. I don't know why. Like, they're not sure why they're going down yet.
The fact that there's been people getting vaccinated since like December.
Yeah, but they're saying the numbers don't reflect the vaccinations.
To Antifa,
the way they're dropping.
In connection with the 6th. That doesn't mean we're not looking, and we'll continue to look. But at the moment, we have not seen that.
Wray also said the FBI views the actions of the rioters on January 6th as domestic terrorism and vowed to hold them accountable.
That attack, that siege, was criminal behavior, plain and simple, and it's behavior that we, the FBI, view as domestic terrorism.
Tuesday was Wray's first testimony in Congress since the January 6th attack that left 5 people dead, including Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick. Wray said and would not divulge any information about it.
But you have determined the cause of death.
I didn't say that. We're not at a point where we can disclose or confirm a cause of death.
Yeah, the guy's dead.
I think he was like crushed.
The guy's dead at this thing. I don't think we need to go any further into that right now. We know basically why he died, you know?
And then they're going to try to identify the people who were directly responsible. Everyone, please like the stream. I have to keep saying that so we can get more people in here. Liking the stream helps the algorithm, so if you want to take a couple seconds out of your time just to click the like button, it would be very beneficial for us, and it only takes a moment for you to do it. If you could, please.
Justice Department has charged more than 300 people with crimes related to the siege, ranging from conspiracy to attacking police and obstructing Congress, and said a large portion of them belonged to far-right militia movements or were motivated by racial ideologies.
We've got a number who self-identify with, the Proud Boys or the Oath Keepers, things like that. We also have a couple of instances where we've already identified individuals involved in the criminal behavior who we would put in the racially motivated violent extremists who advocate for what you would call sort of white supremacy.
Senators also asked why Wray's FBI had not done more to protect the Capitol ahead of the attack.
Why didn't the FBI sound the alarm?
Wray said the FBI released an unverified intelligence report from its Norfolk, Virginia office about violent extremists a day before the attack.
So there was a memo out there.
And shared it with other law enforcement agencies 3 different ways, but acknowledged he personally did not see the report until a few days later.
Great photo of him at the end there.
Was there a little tear in his eye?
He was like,
Everybody right now is talking about how Horton Hears a Who was Dr. Seuss's apology for the racist stuff he had done.
An apology shouldn't be like a metaphor left for people to figure out that the apology is there. It should literally just be a straightforward, I apologize for this. So I'm not going to accept that, even if he did mean that. I don't think... I'm not going to, like... It's up in the air about whether or not that is, so I don't think that's a valid apology. An apology shouldn't be ambiguous.
I think that people don't need apologies if they are if they're changing their behavior for the better.
I'm not saying they need it. I'm saying people shouldn't consider it an apology if it's up in the air whether or not it actually is. If it's just some theory where you're looking into a book that he wrote.
I think at the beginning of the day, before everyone went to the rally, everyone was expecting peace. We'd been to hundreds of rallies. I've probably been to hundreds at this point, certainly many dozens, and they were nothing but peaceful events, and we expected that day to be the same.
She said there was a synonymous feeling of horror in the White House when Donald Trump supporters stormed the Capitol.
A feeling that everyone felt, just completely condemning the actions of that day, horrified and very somber.
No, Juggalo V, I don't want him to denounce... Obviously, he's dead and he can't, but hypothetically even, I don't even know... I don't even care if there's an apology. I don't care. I just hate it when people are like, yeah, if you look at this thing this way, you could say he kind of actually did apologize in this book. Somehow, cryptically in it, he's apologizing. I don't care. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I'm not going to say it's a fact he apologized.
Nicole Bolas says they know a necromancer who can help bring Dr. Seuss back for the apology.
There we go.
And does movement on the bill mean anything for your plan to remain in office for your entire term?
Are you talking about the bill that would change the way a vacancy is created?
Yes.
Yeah, I do support it, and...
No mocking yet. So far, it's still just insanely slow speaking.
I think it's a good idea, and I'm
think it's a good idea.
Oh, no, it has no implications for me. As you may have noticed, I just got reelected to a 6-year term.
On that topic, Leader McConnell...
I don't know. I didn't know he had 6-year terms. That's crazy.
President Trump this weekend took a lot of credit for your reelection in his speech at Cpac.
Is that a Kentucky thing, you think?
I
don't know.
To his comments there, and also
maybe
how you think his endorsement might impact 2022, especially if he endorses against one of your senators like Lisa Murkowski.
Yeah, well, I want to thank him for the 15-point margin I had in 2014 as well.
On Lisa Murkowski or any of the other senators, sir?
No, I guess it's all senators are 6-year terms. I didn't realize that.
$10 an hour, is that something that you could get behind?
Well, Senator Romney and Senator Cotton have been talking about our proposal for a minimum wage increase. It is true that it hadn't been raised in quite a while, and I think it's worth discussing. But we know the result of a $15 federal minimum wage increase all at once.
Where's the mockery?
1.4 million lost jobs. That's not what we need in the middle of a pandemic.
That's not what we do.
Circling back to Cpac for a moment, he said that you asked for his, former President Trump said you asked for his endorsement. I'm curious if you did ask for it, and obviously you made
Here comes the mocking.
2014, but if you had any further comments.
See it on his turtle mouth. It's like he just walked up on a lettuce leaf covered in raw hamburger. Oh, that's it? I'm not going to answer that?
Yep. I didn't see any mocking. There was no mocking.
Oh, yeah. Did you hear Biden talk about the unions?
No.
Yeah, Biden straight up was like pro-union, like publicly pro-union sentiment, saying, "Hey, you know, it's your right to have unions." He's talking against Amazon, which I think a lot of people weren't expecting, because he took a lot of money from Amazon to get where he's at. But he did speak up against it, which is something, you know, Obama didn't do. A lot of other people didn't do. So it's interesting to see where that's going, as if he either knows that unions are dead in the water and won't succeed, so he just jumps on board now, or if they actually do want to try and close this wage gap a little. I don't know.
Let's take a look at...
I guess Dr. Seuss did go on publicly about how he didn't like his previous self, according to .executables. So that's good to hear.
.executables is probably drunk.
You think this is propaganda from .executables?
Probably.
Pro-racial propaganda?
Probably drunk.
I finally got that picture that I was trying to send you to work. My entire computer shut down, blue screen. I had to do like 78 things. But this picture I sent you, it is very indicative of current affairs that Dr. Seuss had drawn up 60 years ago. What's that say on the guy's shirt? Not the Nazi
America
symbol.
first.
Interesting. And on this platform, folks, those most perplexing people, the lads with the Siamese beard, that will get them canceled. People will see the Siamese beard and cancel this rather than showing this is anti-American first Nazi propaganda. Unrelated by blood, they are joined in a manner that mystifies the mightiest minds in the land.
Very interesting.
Very, very interesting photograph, or animatory photograph.
Yeah, it's like a political cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of cartoonists got money doing that,
Yeah, there was always a bunch of them in newspapers. I haven't looked at a newspaper in forever, but probably still to this day too.
I would like to compare Roald Dahl, his work and his actions back in the day to can we just scrutinize everybody ever? I bet there's a lot of
probably going to happen.
I bet there's a lot of horrible people that we adore and love today. Like how bad was Walt Disney? How bad was Roald Dahl?
I don't really care. You know what I mean? Like, are they horrible people, or do we just look at them from
I mean, they're dead people, so it really
Right.
doesn't matter now unless we allow the worst of them to outshine the best of them, which I think is the real failure here.
I mean,
if we start judging people by their worst moments,
especially people who were born like 100 years ago or more than that. I mean, we're canceling a lot of people. Like, how many of the first some odd presidents were slave owners? Like, are we going to cancel all George Washington all the way up until like, I don't know if Lincoln ever owned any. Maybe I don't know. But before Lincoln, almost all of them were.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll just cancel anyone that did anything that we find messed up to be doing in today's day and age.
I watched a documentary on Miyazaki this morning, and it was he seems like a very good man. He's still alive, so let's not cancel Miyazaki.
Okay. What does that have to do with anything?
We're canceling people now. He's a good animator.
Okay.
He's one of the good guys. .executable does not agree. .exec, you're drunk.
New York Democrats reach informal agreement to curb Governor Cuomo's powers. So, yeah,
New York lawmakers have reached an informal agreement to strip Governor Andrew Cuomo of emergency powers granted him at the start of the pandemic. It's the latest blow to his tenure amid growing calls to resign over scandals. Governor Cuomo is facing accusations of sexual harassment from 3 women, as well as a controversy over nursing home deaths during the pandemic. Bloomberg has learned the proposal would require any new directives issued by the governor to be approved by the state legislature.
Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff put out. I guess he was trying to get a reporter or
the biggest story is the moment
to swallow an entire sausage. That was the quote. He's like, "Yeah, I know you could take the whole thing, the whole sausage."
Yeah,
it's like
we'll see what happens with that. I don't. It's interesting that they're stripping him of his powers. They're also looking into like normally he gets a briefing on all these types of internal investigations, but there's no precedent for like when the investigation is about him. So he might be able to get a briefing on the investigation about him as it's happening. They were talking about that on the news. Like, executive authority is real. Like, governors even have more unchecked executive authority within their own state than the president has for the entire nation.
Yeah, is there like a... Because the president, there's like 3 chapters that kind of rule America, right? There's the judicial, the legislative, and the... what's the... Executive branch, right?
Yep.
So, does the governor have equal checks and balances?
He has... Well, different states are different, but a lot of states have like a state senate, but it's not as checked as the federal government. There's a good amount of power that governors have within their own state. They can pardon people just like within their own state. Like if they're convicted of a crime, like a state crime, that stuff can be pardoned.
I remember when marijuana was legalized here in Washington State, they pardoned like everybody who was in.
That's a good pardon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
It was in for like non-violent and low-level drug offenses. It was a good move.
Here's a protest that happened over Cuomo. Oh wow! Filmed with a potato.
Like I said, we all know why we're here today, right?
Thank you.
I couldn't, like, I'm not saying, like, there are good causes for protests, but I couldn't imagine having enough time to want to protest.
Could you imagine being on the news, having this microphone in your face for this platform, and you started off with, we all know why we're here today, and look around at the people that are there to protest? You're talking to the people at home, Giacomo. Tell them why you're here today. Jesus, this is horrible.
Woman so far came out accusing...
The amount of accusers shouldn't prove guilt. The way that they all keep coming out like after one another, there could be, I mean, this could be done for revenge. This could be done for attention. It could be, obviously it could be true.
That's why we investigate these
right,
things.
It does need to be investigated. It shouldn't matter how many necessarily, unless they have evidence. He's only going to get in trouble for the ones that there are evidence for. So,
Governor Cuomo of sexual harassment and inappropriate behavior.
It only lends credibility if it's coming from a credible source. Like if there's actual evidence behind it.
Know that where there's 3, there's more, right?
That's right.
That's right. These things are not isolated incidents.
She's a horrible speaker.
I just saw someone in the chat say the worst part is what he did with COVID in nursing homes. Yes. Yes, if it can be proven that he did that, then that's a very big problem. But if this other stuff is true, that's a problem too. If he was like being a perv to his employees, you can't have that.
They're saying there was like this air of you had to accept it and just deal with it in the cabinet. It became part of the culture of the cabinet. If that's true, I'm sure we'll have a lot of people in the cabinet backing that up.
And as a young woman of color myself, working in politics, I feel so much solidarity.
I hate sentences that begin with as like
with the brave woman who comes
as a big
forward
fat bastard.
Yeah.
So far.
I agree.
It takes courage, and we have all experienced situations. We have all been in situations, I think, where people in power, men in power, have tried to use their position to take advantage of young women, of anybody who's below them in terms of power, and it's not okay.
Good for you for standing up, but this is a horrible speech. We need somebody who could like be direct, denounce this guy. You're killing me over here. I want to be on your side. I want to be team anti-Cuomo if he's a big bad wolf.
Mean, the governor, being the governor, you're gonna have, in terms of power, you're gonna have an advantage over everybody, like even outside of your state. I would say, just because, you know.
Yeah, so you can't, like, I don't know, force sausages down girls' throats if that's true, if that's really what's going on. You know, things like that you have to be wary of. Tell a woman that she has to take the whole thing, and like, oh, okay. Maybe you shouldn't do that if you're the governor, but you know, maybe he's the governor because he does stuff like that.
Has proven that he is not fit to govern our state. New Yorkers deserve better. That's right.
Everybody pretty much deserves better than who they have ruling them, but they won't get better.
Anyone who is potentially better once they get a taste of the power and the wealth that comes with it, they become worse anyway. Obviously not all, but it seems like it's the majority.
I plan on becoming worse when I become mayor.
We've known this not just in the way he interacts with people interpersonally, but the way that he governs. This is the same governor who cut Medicaid at the height of a pandemic.
All right, yeah. Find someone with a more enjoyable voice to listen to.
Well, not even just the voice is one thing. It's the lack of assertiveness. She keeps turning to the people behind her like, "Am I right? Am I right? Like, right, guys?" Like she needs a pat on the back for every little thing she says. That's bad. That's bad.
Here's something that claims Trump actually got vaccinated secretly so that no one would know that he got vaccinated.
Of course he would.
Welcome to Rolling Stone News. I'm Adisa Duke. Former President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump both received the COVID-19 vaccine back in January when they were still living in the White House, but did so in secret without the public knowing. Maggie Haberman of the New York Times was the first to report the news, tweeting, quote, "Trump yesterday at Cpac said for the first time that everyone should get the coronavirus vaccine developed while he was in office."
Before that, he was like, I'm immune now. I'm immune. And people would ask him if he was going to get it, and he's like, I don't know, maybe, yeah, maybe.
An advisor tells me both Trump...
He was so reluctant to even acknowledge the danger of the virus because he thought just its existence would make him look bad, and he missed an opportunity to look good, and it probably would have won him the election if he would have behaved differently towards at least the virus. I think that could have won the election.
As close as it was, there was so many things.
It could have just been one issue.
There's so many things he could have done that would have been those one issue. Like that definitely is one of them. It would have pushed him over.
I think because so many people were being affected by it, it made a lot of people that would have otherwise voted for him, it made it hard for them to support him.
This guy is the most protected man in America, has a staff of people to protect him.
Yes.
His safety.
He doesn't have to go anywhere, too.
He got it.
We have kids that have been going to school in parts of the country from home for a year. The president could have done all these meetings over Zoom or whatever. He didn't have to go anywhere. He could have been isolated. And there's a lot of reports of people who had COVID that still, even when they test negative now, they still have some of the symptoms. Like, it hasn't gone away completely.
The same people that sold the MAGA hats could have sold MAGA face masks. And he could have been like, get yourself a MAGA face mask. They're very sexy. They're very sexy. And then boom. Like he could have done everything so differently.
Yep.
People would have been like, okay, yeah, we're in this together. Instead, it was literally another divisive tactic.
And Melania Trump got vaccinated at the White House in January. On Sunday, during his speech at Cpac in Orlando, Florida, Trump urged the audience to get the vaccine.
The irony of him at a debate where he probably had COVID, where he almost assuredly had COVID.
He did have it.
He criticized Biden for wearing a mask, having a big mask, while he fucking had COVID.
He had it then. They weren't able to test him before he got in because he came in late, and he told them that he tested clean, and they took his word for it. He had been training for that debate with Chris Christie, who also got COVID during the training for the debate.
Yeah, they were swapping spit.
And Chris Christie 100% had the bad COVID and almost died and took it very seriously when he got out of it.
They say obese people are more likely to die.
I think it comes down to blood type as
And
well.
he's older,
There's a whole lot of
too.
different things they're talking about. But yeah, he 100% was like, this is no joke. You didn't hear from me for weeks because I was trying to recover from a life-threatening illness.
Oh, yeah.
Saying, quote, how unpainful that vaccine shot is, so everybody go get your shot. During his time in office, however, Trump openly mocked the idea of wearing a mask and disregarded social distancing protocols. In October of last year, the former president tested positive for COVID-19 and received a monoclonal antibody.
I wonder if he would have just followed the protocols and been pro-mask, how different the numbers would have been in America.
It could have been very different. Like, it's... And, you know, another thing, like, why don't the QAnon people talk about people on the left drinking baby brain fluid to live forever? How come they're not talking about how Trump got stem cell treatments when he had COVID made from aborted fetuses?
Because they don't know. They're dumb.
Isn't that, I mean, that's, yeah, there's really no other, you can't even like, it's hard to even like joke about. That's all you can really say about it, you know?
Yeah.
Cocktail as treatment. A White House official said in December that Trump wouldn't be vaccinated until recommended by the White House medical team because he was still receiving the benefits of the treatment. An Axios poll published on Monday found that 56% of white Republicans are unsure if they'll get the COVID-19 vaccine, despite all available vaccines having been deemed safe and effective by the FDA. Thanks for watching. For more on this story and all your politics news,
I blame Trubisky for that.
Is he a white Republican?
No, I remember when the vaccine first got approved and I was streaming with him and I was talking about it. I was like, man, I'd get it tomorrow if I could. And he's like, oh, I'm going to wait and see if the people that get it before me are okay. I'm like, all right. So you want everyone else to be your guinea pigs first. First of all, you don't trust it even though it's been tested. It's been in clinical trials. Trubisky's an anti-vaxxer.
That's the crazy thing, too, because being, our age and I guess healthy, like I tried to put in that I was fat to see if I can get it sooner. They wouldn't give it to me.
Yeah.
So, like we don't even have the choice, so might as well say, yeah, I'll take the damn thing, because we're not going to be the first round of people. Trubisky's not going to be the first round of people get it anyways. Him saying, I'll wait and see what other people says is like, well, you're going to have to. You're going to have to wait. We have to see what everybody else goes through. Unless you're in some sort of job where you like need to be around other people.
Well, people have been getting it for months, and there hasn't been any noticeable issues at this point. There have been the normal issues people have when they get pretty much any type of vaccine. They get soreness in the injection site. Some people have allergic reactions, and those are the pretty much the only people that shouldn't be getting the vaccine.
Have you heard about the people who are getting webbed feet and a third eye?
No,
yeah,
I
neither
haven't.
have I. That'd be pretty
it's
sweet.
not happening.
That'd be a pretty sweet side effect. I got webbed feet. No.
Yeah. So I saw this on Twitter the other day. It is interesting. And they're saying it should be ready by 2025. I'm not buying this because I think they'd already be building it by now. But basically, they want to build a space hotel.
Okay. Yeah. It may offer low-gravity basketball and trampolining. The Von Braun Space Station is slated to be operational in 2025. I
don't see it.
I see it. I see this happening. If they have the everything set up for it, they could build this thing and have it in orbit pretty quickly. Does it come down, or do they fly you up to it? How's this work?
No, it does not come down.
So you got to get flown up. You dock in.
Yeah.
Dude, this is psycho. I love this. I want to believe.
It's a good idea. Well, I mean, we will have. There will probably be a moon base eventually too, but I don't see this happening in 4 years. It'll probably be it'll be built on the ground and they'll launch it somehow, like strap it to rockets. I'm not a rocket scientist, but they'd have to build it down here and then send it up.
Yeah.
And then they'd have little shuttles take people up to it.
Yeah. The intrepid travelers looking to vacation in Earth's orbit. The space station's senior design architect described the concept as a space-based cruise. An interview with architecture and design publication Dezeen, the space station designed as a giant wheel that rotates to simulate gravity. Architect Tim O'Toole said this would allow space tourists to go about their daily routines, like using the toilet, showering, and eating. The wheel will be outfitted with 24 modules where guests can sleep. Dude. Outdoor says the Von Braun will have restaurants, bars.
Well, the Gravity...
Concerts, movie screenings, educational seminars, and sports.
I feel like the Gravity would be maybe not as heavy as it is on Earth, because they're saying, like, people are slam dunking basketballs and stuff. I don't know.
Well, there would probably be, like, an area that wasn't...
but if the whole place is spinning, how could they just make... Because the spin is what creates the gravity.
Yeah, so the rooms are probably on the spin, and there might be like a center area with all of the amenities that you enter through.
I'm not going to pretend to understand how that works.
I can pretend.
I know you would.
We're imagining supersized basketball events where you're running up and down walls. Tim Alator, the senior design architect, Von Braun, to NBC News September 14th, 2019. So he said this to NBC News September 14th, 2019. So this has been in talks since 2019. So the concept is it could be getting ready to be built. And if they know exactly how to build each pod and everything's ready to go, I imagine it could be operational by 2025 and actually have people in it by like 2027.
This is where all of the elite are going to watch the rest of the world burn.
Good. Because you know what? I'm going to devise my own spacecraft. I'm going to fly up to the elite. I'm going to flip them off as I go into the cosmos. The space station will seek to accommodate about 400 people, including crew members. But the trip won't be cheap. Of course not. Our goal is to get costs down to where you have a choice. You could save up and go for a week's vacation in Europe, or you could go to space. That's not bad. Orion Span, a competing space tourism startup, says it hopes to host guests in its space hotel Aurora Station in 2022. So they're going to have space guests in 2022. Other orgs looking to open space tourism experiences reportedly include Virgin Galactic, SpaceX, Blue Origin, and NASA. Yeah. We've pretty much done everything we can do on Earth, right? It's either this or like go down and do Titanic hotels where you're underwater hotels. And this is way better because I don't know why. A Titanic hotel would be cool too. We're not doing a lot of underwater exploration, are we?
I don't know. I mean, we have submarines that can go pretty far
That's
under
true.
the water.
Ghislaine Maxwell really wanted to start a submarine community before she got caught up with the Epstein situations. I got to go run to the bathroom, Ben.
Okay.
I want to give you a perfect send-off. I'm going to space.
You're going to space. The toilet doesn't suck your poo-poo down the drain. Oh, no. I don't have that sophisticated of technology. Hi, everybody. Hi. Want to remind everyone to please like the stream. If you haven't already, throw us a like. If you're not subscribed, subscribing is a good thing to do also. Do that. Send in your bats. If you use the Brave browser, send in your bats. Also, another announcement. Now's the time to get your Patreon pledges in if you want to be featured either in the beginning or ending credits, depending on the pledge that you want to take. I will be the deadline is Tuesday, March 9th. On that Tuesday episode on March 9th, I will make both the beginning and ending credits, updating all the information. So make sure if your pledge was declined or you haven't pledged yet, please do so. If you pledge at the $25 level, you get all the cool perks that everyone likes to get if they sign up for Patreon. And after 3 months, you'll get a t-shirt featuring Billy and I included with that. People are saying, oh, what, we're paying $75 for a shirt? No, it's not that we're selling the shirt standalone for $75 plus shipping and handling. Basically, it's an extra perk. Patreon is crowdfunding, and it's not, I mean, it does in some ways function as a paywall, but Patreon mainly provides crowdfunding support for different projects. So this is something else that we're throwing in for the people that already support us at a certain level. I'm looking for... I don't remember where I put it. I should have prepared better for this.
That felt so good.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I had a monster rain.
Purple rain?
Purple rain. I just filled up the lakes of Minnetonka.
That's so far away, too.
Yeah.
You just kind of like exploded.
People are saying I'm sweaty back, Bill. It's actually my wet hair. I have my wet, long hair down, and it's still a little wet on my back. I put my hair up.
Sweaty back Bill, 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 Bill, sweaty back Bill.
It's not true. It's my long hair
sweaty
was
back
really
Bill,
wet.
Sweaty back Bill.
I usually put it up in a ponytail when I get out of the shower.
Bag.
But
Billy
I
got his sweaty
had my
bag.
hair tie in the car, so I had to have my hair down all the way, and it just soaked into my back until I got in the car. It's not sweaty, guys. It's not sweaty.
Sweaty back Bill.
It's not sweaty. It's water from my luscious curls.
Here is what the shirt looks like. It's a parody of Cardi B with Billy and I's face on it, but we have the beautiful hair.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful shirt. And you can have it if you sign up, $25. And you get all the cool perks, and your name will be in the video. It'll be immortalized. We're going to move on with the show now. Did we get any Streamlab? Yeah, we got a couple.
You know we did.
Awesome.
I did get meat sweats last night, though. I went to Korean barbecue. Somebody said that I had the meat sweats, and they were too correct. It was too quick. Coop Car gave us the choo-choo.
Choo-choo.
Thank you, Coop Car. Locust Godson, pretty sure he directly apologized for his anti-Japanese sentiments. And Horton, here's a who. That's literally the point of the whole story. The Locust God.
We're pretty sure.
I agree. Calificent said, it's funny because it's Dr. Seuss week at the Kindergarten Learning Center, and it's Dr. Seuss week because it's his birthday. Yeah, I think that's probably why this is all getting brought up right now. People are trying to push back saying, hey, Dr. Seuss wasn't perfect, so we can't celebrate a man who wasn't perfect.
Nobody is perfect. That's the problem.
Whoa. Perfection comes in many forms, just not white people. Okay, Ben?
Okay.
Thank you. Yes, Queen.
Was that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. We have an interesting antagonism today. With the times.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Yeah, they're gonna touch me.
Here is Nick Fuentes blocked from Cpac. I think this is a video of him trying to get in and they don't let him in. Let's see.
Boo! You goob. What a goober. What a bunch of goobers.
Take the mask off.
They're like, take the mask off. We can't hear you.
I love to see, their actions against their own freaking people. I like that.
They don't consider them their people. They're a different thing. They just happen to vote for the same party because there's only two parties.
I like to see the division amongst the parties. He picked up his mask. Well, nice political statement, Fuentes. You dork.
Property now, Orange County will be asked to escort you off property. Could you take the mask off? Police
What a little dweeb.
He is the super dork.
We made our point. We're good. Cpac sucks.
Oh, you got him.
You would happily go in if they would let you in. You only think it sucks because they don't want to associate with you. That's it. What was your point? That you're a little prick?
Made our point. Cpac is gay, you're not conservative. Nick Fuentes quote. Dropping big bombs. What a dweeb.
Like, I remember, like, there was some stupid Nick Fuentes fan trolling me on Twitter. And he was like, so if Nick would come on your show, would you debate him? I'm like, yeah, sure. But he blocked me a long time ago, so I don't think he'll come on the show because he's afraid to talk to people about certain things. And he was like, you know what? He probably didn't even know who you were. You know what? I bet you he would. I'm like, okay, go and ask him. Go ask him. And then I never heard from that guy again. You know? He was like trying so hard to get me to agree. I'm like, I agree. Like, it doesn't, like, nothing, there's no winners in this debate because Nick lives in a different reality than I do. He lives in a totally different reality than I do.
I like how his supporters are putting their masks on now when they leave. We only took our masks off when Nick told us to take them off, and now we put them back on. The sheriff's walking with him. He's like, I'm actually with the guys here. I agree, America first. One guy's dressed like Ace Ventura.
Yeah, Hawaiian shirt thing, you know. These guys are such sheep. It's crazy how many people need someone to follow. They like desperately need someone to tell them what to believe and how to behave.
No, they call the conference America Uncanceled. But they cancel everybody that comes here. They cancel me. They cancel Laura Loomer. They cancel Michelle Malkin. They cancel all the real conservatives. So
Nick, this is part of him living in a different reality. Whatever he happens to be, that's the real, authentic version of that thing. He's the real conservative. He's the real Catholic.
That's the cult of personality, right? You can go down far on the totem pole of people to listen to, and still find people below them willing to listen. It's amazing. This is like the last person I'd want to follow, but like. There's people who will follow this. There are people who are beneath this level of intelligence. They're like, yeah, no, exactly. He's speaking to us.
What's going to happen? I didn't even park my car because I knew we'd be in and out in 2 seconds. Why did they cancel you? They canceled me because I'm too red-pilled. Where?
I'm too red-pilled. They canceled because I'm too red-pilled.
Yeah, he can't give a real explanation. He has to use this.
His entire career is built up on memes.
Right.
No, Kathy! Kathy! So why did they cancel you? Because I'm too base and I'm too red-pilled.
Yeah, I'm too base.
I'm too base. I'm too red-pilled. I had sex with a guy named Spexo.
Feels good, man.
We blew each
I'm
other.
severely conservative. That's the problem.
Does he know what conservative means?
No.
I'm so red-pilled. I'm a closeted, red-pilled, homosexual male in America.
Here's Trumpster Bob wasted.
Nice.
Talking about us
My guy.
And about half of what he says, I have no idea what he's saying.
I'll translate.
Help me.
This is a true American love story that we have going here with Chilmster Bob.
Help me.
The new normal uniform has a...
He's listening to us.
Nice.
Thanks for the free ad, Bob.
A lot of us searching our closets and drawers for...
Everyone check the link in the description for some Mack Weldon clothing.
Essentials that aren't there. Instead of the usual business casual button-ups and jeans, it's soft...
Why is there someone's email address on the screen?
Knit polos, tees, joggers, and active shorts.
Blah, 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 blah. We suck a lot of motherfucking dick, too.
See, you go directly to that. You are so closeted, it's unbelievable, because you bring up gay stuff all the time. Like, no one else is saying anything along those lines, and you bring it into the conversation, okay? The Trumpster Bob doth protest too much.
We'll not only eat your fucking pussy, we'll take AIDS from this fucking homosexual and give it to your fucking wife if she gives it to you. You can get back to me and I'll pass to your motherfucking great fucking granddaughter because I'm a perverted old motherfucker at the age of motherfucking 98.
Who is he talking about?
I think either you, I, or him is going to give AIDS to people's great-great-granddaughters.
What?
I
He said great so many times, there's no way you could possibly... Those people are not born yet, nor will they be alive in our lifetime. I don't... He said great, what, like 7 times?
Yeah.
Okay, that's... Those people will not be alive during our lifetime.
That's what I'm fucking hearing, all this fucking bullshit.
They're totally free loyalty programs. You get free shipping for life.
Fuck yeah.
Thanks
so
for the
Drunken Peasants, that's the shit you fucking hear. That's the fucking shit you get with advertisements all surrounding these motherfuckers, right?
Right.
You couldn't prove they were ever for Donald Trump.
We never claimed we were for Donald Trump.
Man, could they prove that we were ever for Donald Trump?
I was never for Donald Trump. I was never on board with Trump. I when he got into office, I was like, let's see. He has a chance now. Let's see what he does.
I wanted him to be a great president.
Of course. Oh, man. I would have voted for him if the second time if I thought he was a great president. No, I never supported Trump.
Never done a fucking thing for the motherfucking people, right?
For who?
Did we, or did we saying Trump never did?
And these motherfuckers think, honestly, is anybody gonna believe any of you motherfuckers against somebody like motherfucking me?
Yes.
I think a lot of people probably do believe us against you.
Yeah.
Even if we're wrong and you're right, they would believe us against you.
But here's the thing. Like, that's not the case. Like, his Raising Cane's theory and all of this, like... the election is rigged where he lives because there's a bunch of Muslims posing as Hispanics, and the way you can tell is that the Muslims, they can't handle their jalapenos. Have you ever heard that theory that he has? Yeah.
No.
He thinks that there's Muslims posing as Hispanics voting illegally in Texas, and the way you can test them is that a Muslim can't handle a jalapeno.
He's beautiful, Ben. He has a beautiful mind. His twisted worldly perspective is a work of art.
And by the way, a bunch of people have joined our Discord server to talk to Bob because Bob's active in there. He'll come in to insult me every now and then he gets hounded by all of his rabid fans.
It's true.
Link in the description. Please join our Discord. Even if you've never used Discord before, it's a good way to interact with the show because I'm in there, Billy's in there. There's new people joining all the time. Come on in. Download the Discord. You know what? You can even try like the browser version of Discord at first before you download the app just to see if you like it.
You've been there from day one, motherfucker.
You have?
Nobody else on planet Earth. I'm the one.
You are?
And you want me to promote your motherfucking show?
No. We never asked you to promote our show.
Seriously?
No. Well,
Fuck
seriously.
you. And you ain't gonna pay my motherfucking ass? So
Oh, okay. See, that now we're getting to the bottom of why Trumpster Bob's so bitter these days, and he gets a little. This is the only part of what he says here that I actually understand. Okay. Here we go. So he's talking about getting paid.
let me ask you this. Drunken peasants.
Okay.
What's the biggest goddamn motherfucking donation that you motherfuckers, with all your fucking money, has given me?
Okay. I tried to donate $1,000 to Trumpster Bob.
It didn't work?
It got declined? It got declined. I think his bank was shut down. I tried to, I don't know what it was. Maybe he was moving from addresses into his new mansion, and then $1,000 did not go to Trumpster Bob.
Damn.
I was drunk, and I regretted it the second after I sent it, so I'm kind of glad it didn't go through. But I tried, Bob. I tried to give you a $1,000 payday so you can get your beard groomed. I thought it would be a nice little treat.
Are you a groomer?
Yes.
Oh.
Seriously.
Seriously, okay.
I know. You fucking drunken peasants donated $450,000 to Trumpster Bob.
$450,000, so almost $500,000.
Maybe that's why it didn't go through. I didn't have that much in my account. I must have added a 4, 5, and some zeros or something.
Okay.
Because you made $4.5 million motherfucking dollars being hired by some sucking dick motherfucker, right?
Yes.
How did he know?
George Soros.
So you donated that much to me, right? $450,000 fucking dollars.
Yes, to you.
That's the best you could fucking do.
We should have did a cool $500,000.
If that's all you did donate to me, I would fucking show everybody, reveal your motherfucking ass, and say you should have gone for, like, can I cut you off at 40%? I would have said, yeah, well, 40%. Okay, fuck it.
Why is he's talking like we had some kind of weird negotiation with him about money?
He's a reasonable man, okay? He's going to let us take 60%.
He's reasonably insane.
He'd take 40%. That's what,
40% of the $450,000?
Yeah, he just wants what? 80 what is 40%?
I'm not good at math.
I know, I suck at it too. It's about $2 million. He wants about $2 million.
Oh, that's it. That's all.
He just wants about $2 million.
I don't want to argue for the 50 I'm worthy of by far. I should, but I'll settle for the 40, right?
He's giving us a discount.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say a fucking thing. If we settle it, I get 30%. But you going to try to fuck me ass for pennies on the dollar? And think I'm not going to fucking rat out on your motherfucking ass?
What?
We're trying to screw him out of pennies on the dollar.
We are?
Is he going to get confused with the panties on the dolly? Because I don't know what he's talking about. Ben, when's the last time that we gave anybody $450,000?
No, never.
Then I don't even think the IRS has gotten $450,000 from me.
No.
Sorry, IRS.
And so, drunken peasants, here's my point.
Okay. Can't wait to hear this. What's your point?
Wow.
You motherfuckers beg for attention from Trumpster Bob, right?
Yes.
No.
And you have done nothing but try to get me to solidify your motherfucking channel.
That's what we wanted, yeah.
Really?
We wanted validation.
A piece of shit left-wing communist channel. And now on top of that, you want me to solidify that you guys have been up and running patriot motherfuckers, but you're fucking Democrat.
Come on,
and
vouch
you've
for
never
us.
done a fucking political fucking thing.
Vouch for us, Bob.
Of you. I'm not a Democrat, by the way. I have voted Democrat. I've never voted Republican, but there's some times where I voted third party, and there's sometimes where I didn't vote at all.
I'm a demigod and an
Until
aristocrat.
2020.
Does that count?
What the fuck? And you just happen to pop up as liberal right as Joe Biden got elected?
It's true. This is
we just happened to pop up as liberal when we talked to Trumpster Bob before the election happened, like months before it happened.
No, we're opportunists, Ben.
Oh.
We are just sneaking in what we can to get our $4.5 million George Soros paychecks. That's all it is.
And we don't know what the fuck is up with you motherfuckers. Fuck you. No, just straight up, fuck you. And this Chinese fucking communist woman bitch you got in here.
Okay, who is he talking about now?
The Chinese communist woman.
There's nobody we've ever had on that was Chinese. There was.
Didn't we have a woman on the other day that he was like hounding the stream for? I can't remember who the guest was. Was it Casey Tron?
She's not Chinese.
Is she Chinese communist though? Is she in the pocket of the Chinese?
Fuck you. No, just straight up, fuck you. And this Chinese fucking communist woman bitch you got in here with a symbol uniform symbolic of the motherfucking communist that first turned China fucking communist after.
So with a uniform symbolizing when China turned when China first turned communist? What?
I mean,
so who do we have on the show that is a Chinese woman that wears a Soviet uniform?
She sounds awesome.
Yeah.
The goddamn.
Was it Gail?
World War II bullshit.
Oh, you know what? I think it was Gail because there was the day that he got mad at us because we wouldn't bring him on and we were watching Gail. And he was like, what is this? Well, nobody wants to watch this. Nobody wants this. They want the Bob. They want the Bob show. So I think it is actually Gail, yeah.
Maybe.
And think I'm not going to recognize that bullshit when I see it?
Damn. Because she was supporting Vladimir Putin.
What the fuck is he talking about, motherfuckers?
We confused him with that. Gail was so confusing to him that now he thinks that we owe him $2 million. That's how confused he was by Gail.
I wanted to prepare everyone for the next video. You may have an aneurysm. I guess there was a meme. I never saw it. Maybe you saw it. I guess there was a meme about Helen Keller being fake.
Yeah.
So this is Spexo saying, no, unironically, Helen Keller was fake. Like saying that the accomplishments that she had were fake. Which it's been conclusively proven they were real.
That's what they want you to think.
Oh, you're really going to do this?
Well, let's watch what Spexo has to say.
Really?
No, yeah, of course, Ben. Of course I'm going to deny Helen Keller ever existed.
So I know that
no, not ever existed.
She never existed. People are just saying it ironically to be edgy, or they're saying it post-ironically to try to bring attention to more serious hoaxes. But it's completely true. Helen Keller, the mainstream narrative of Helen Keller, is complete nonsense. And I'm surprised people are just catching on now. I've been Helen-pilled since before I was even red-pilled.
I've been Helen-pilled since before I was even red-pilled. Did he just say that? I've been Helen-pilled.
Helen pills.
Helen pilled before I even knew that Mossad did 9/11 or that NASA was ran by satanic Freemasons. But let's look at the fact.
He's not. I mean, like, he's not a troll though. He's standing behind Nick Fuentes.
Of course.
So he believes this. He is this stupid.
She was deaf, dumb, and blind. Definitely dumb because she was a woman. And her miracle worker, Anne Sullivan, was able to make her learn this special sign language that she felt in her hand, spelling out each individual letter. And from there...
Well, that's the only way she could, because she couldn't hear and she couldn't see. So she had to learn to sign through touch. It's not... Later on, he describes this as, like, magical. There's nothing magical about it. It is exceptional that someone was able to learn that couldn't see or hear or speak.
She was able to
didn't have a lot else to do.
To become political activists and wrote 12 books and flew planes. Yeah, doubt.
She flew planes?
He's making it sound like she did it by herself. She was on an airplane that they let her take the controls on for a little while. You know, he makes it sound like she's like taking off and landing and stuff. That's not the mainstream narrative. No one said Helen Keller was like a pilot. She was on a plane and they let her take the controls of the plane.
I was assuming that people often confuse Helen Keller for Anne Frank, and that he was confusing Helen Keller for Amelia Earhart right there.
She disappeared.
Do you know the prognosis for somebody who loses their vision and hearing at the age of 19 months like Helen Keller did is in 2021? The general prognosis is a life of horror and confusion.
So now he's saying, oh man, no, you know what? This has never happened with someone who went, deaf and blind this young. And it's like, of course, it wouldn't be an exceptional story if this happened all the time. That's the reason why people focus on it, and it's still a relevant story, even till this day. And the fact that she was able to, get a bunch of degrees from universities and write a bunch of books. I think she wrote something like 12 books or something.
And lashing out in violent outbursts because they don't know what's going on. And that's in modern times with the most advanced medical treatments available.
And she did have that before she was taught how to sign and how to communicate. She did live that way. They used to just let her, when they were having dinner, they would just let her grab food off of people's plates. She just kind of lived like an animal.
But we're supposed to believe that 125 years ago, this lady was magically able to teach Helen Keller this magical sign language that only she could understand, and from there she was able to have a perception of society and form political ideology. For the first and only time in human history, too. Nobody else since Helen Keller with her diagnosis has been able to make the advancements that she has by even speaking at all or living any type of normal life. And don't get me wrong, it's entirely possible that
her life wasn't normal.
Yeah, she flew an airplane, man. That's abnormal.
Yeah.
I know how many people that aren't deaf, dumb, and blind never flew an airplane?
Right.
Said things like, wah, wah, trying to say water, but it's highly unlikely that she could even perceive what water was. And she probably did have the happiest life a person in her position could have, but she wasn't a pilot or an author or a
She wasn't a pilot.
Political activist. At best, she was a puppet who was able to parrot some things that Anne Sullivan taught her. Because Helen Keller came from a very wealthy family, and her parents did not want to accept that she was never going to...
Right, because an unwealthy family wouldn't have been able to afford a teacher to sit and work with their deaf and blind child.
Do you think Sullivan just was a grifter and grifted the parents into thinking all this?
No, but that's the theory he's going to present here.
I heard Helen Keller sure played a mean pinball.
She's the original Tommy.
Be a known person in society, so they looked everywhere and tried to hire a bunch of different people to try and get through to her. Anne Sullivan was not the first person they came across, but all the doctors...
Right, so they tried... Yeah, that's why Anne Sullivan gets a lot of credit, too.
Professionals that they spoke to were like, nah, your kid's broken, sorry, bro. Until they met Anne Sullivan, she was like, yeah, I can make some financial gain off of your retarded kid, no problem. So Anne Sullivan gets her to say wah wah, and she becomes like a national story. And she teaches her this hand sign language where she puts her hand in her hand and does these little symbols.
Right, the only way she could have learned sign language.
Or whatever, and apparently Helen Keller can understand that. And then she grows...
Okay, he makes it sound like it just happened, instantly. It took a long time. It took a long time.
Up, and Helen Keller becomes a political activist who just so happens to have the same exact political alignments as Anne Sullivan.
Okay. I don't even know if this is true, but even if it was, people tend to be influenced by their parents and other authority figures in their lives. So the person who taught Helen Keller how to communicate is probably going to have an influence over her politically.
Yeah, this point here... You might be right about this point. She was heavily influenced by the person who taught her how to experience the outside world.
Right.
That would make sense.
Right.
The political speeches that Helen Keller gave, she had her hand in Anne Sullivan's hand doing this little, ferociously hand-signing thing while Anne Sullivan spoke completely normal. How is she speaking completely normal if Helen Keller has to dictate every single letter into her hand and she's going like this, but Anne Sullivan is just speaking completely normally?
It's kind of like how normal sign language people can, we see it all the time now with governors doing public addresses and stuff. You'll see them just live translate what they're saying into sign language. So when someone learns that as their language, in this case, their, one of their, like their second language, then it's good. You're going to be able to translate in real time. I don't understand why this is so hard to believe.
I do like the idea that Anne Sullivan just taught her how to do itsy bitsy spider into her hand and then used her as a prop for political gain. I like that idea. It's funny. It's hilarious. It's demeaning and psycho. And even if this was all made up, the idea behind it is a fine story to tell. I don't see the point of being all, we got you here, Anne Sullivan. We got you. Like, who cares?
People are able to communicate because they could use sound, and deaf people can communicate because they could use visual cues.
There's more. There's more than that.
If you're blind and deaf and you go blind and deaf at such a young age.
It's like if you're blind, you don't only rely on your hearing. And if you're deaf, you don't only rely on your sight. There's so many other things we rely on.
It is impossible to function or perceive reality at all. And then they expect
No. People in dream states are communicating in lucid states. When they're not even awake, they're communicating with the scientists under studies right now. You can find a way to communicate. There's not just one way to do anything, okay?
Right.
The fact that maybe nobody with Helen Keller's situation has done this since then because they haven't had the willingness to do so. They didn't have the cognitive ability and want to try that hard to get over it. We don't know the answer. This speculating either way is a fool's errand. Like if it hasn't happened again, it didn't happen before, then it was an anomaly and it's amazing. And if it didn't even happen then and it was just a story, what's the point in debunking it, you goofball? You make yourself look crazy. Jeez.
Everyone, please like the stream. Please like the stream. He has a follow-up video to this, too, that I'm going to show you.
I believe that Helen Keller went to university and graduated in 4 years like any other person. How is she graduating college in 4 years if she can't read or write normal
She can read.
Language? She couldn't.
Because it was translated.
See or hear anything. She could just feel random textures, and you expect to believe that she was some genius who had all of these groundbreaking ideas and formed all these inspirational quotes.
Okay.
What were her groundbreaking ideas? Like, what do we attribute something in society that was groundbreaking to Helen Keller?
It's almost all related to her experience as someone who was born deaf and blind that learned how to communicate and was actually an intelligent person. It just, her ability to communicate just had to be unlocked. That's it.
Yeah, so maybe she's groundbreaking because nobody else could have broken that ground before her.
Right.
You psycho.
You have to be as retarded as Helen Keller to believe that. So Helen Keller is a complete hoax propped up by Anne Sullivan to give her fame and to espouse her political beliefs. And if you think that's crazy, wait until you hear about how Anne Frank was a complete hoax because her father wrote half the diary.
I mean, there's languages out there that almost no one understands, but like a very few amount of people, like Native American languages. Is he going to suggest that that's all just gibberish and Native Americans, when white people come around, they're just like making up gibberish to speak to each other in front of us?
I do think in 70 years, someone who has followed this train of thought will suggest that Oprah was a conspiracy and Oprah didn't really exist. We're gonna see this happening in perpetuity as long as we have dumb people.
In a pen that didn't exist until like 15 years after her death.
Okay, so here he is. He made this response to like the bad feedback he got from that video.
So I'm getting a lot of hate from the Helen Keller video I did. I did not expect it to blow up as much as it did, but it got like 15,000 views in the first 2 hours, and I got hundreds of responses and quote tweets from leftists seething at the idea that I could possibly think that the mainstream narrative of Helen Keller is fake, which is hilarious to me because that's probably my least controversial conspiracy theory that I believe in. It is such a milquetoast, non-offensive idea, and that is what people are going.
Either you're saying you believe this just to be edgy and like trigger the libs or whatever, or you're just stupid.
Yeah, it's
one
not,
or the other.
It's not that it's that offensive. It's that it seems asinine. Like it's stupid.
It doesn't bother me if you believe something's stupid because most of the things you talk about on your channel are stupid.
I like how you paused this on that perfectly O-shaped pecker wrecker.
going crazy over. And it just shows that the vast majority of people are just sheep. They have no agency. They have no critical thinking.
Yeah, they follow people like Nick Fuentes.
They will never question.
They all wear red MAGA hats. They all wear Hawaiian shirts.
They all wear Burger King crowns in the back of their car to whistle blow.
Extreme narrative or authority, and they've been conditioned to think that anybody who goes against the grain has a pathological problem. And then they'll turn around, ironically, and say things like you're a bootlicker, or that you're retarded, or that you don't.
It's not anyone that goes against the grain. When someone's going against the grain and they're like, this is the reason I'm going against the grain, and it sounds like it's within the realm of reality and logical, then it's like, okay, well, it's worth going against the grain for that. But not just to get people mad at you on Twitter. All of the reasons you have for doubting that the Helen Keller story is true all rely on just assumptions. And weird conspiracy theories. Like this woman took on teaching a very disabled young girl with this secret agenda for fame and money and to espouse her political beliefs. It just doesn't seem like a very realistic plan.
But if it was real, then we can argue that Stephen Hawking was the same exact thing.
He mentioned Stephen Hawking.
Trust science. They basically call you evil for not kissing the ring of every.
Yeah, real scientists were just typing in to tell that computer what to say. That guy didn't know what was going on. The guy in the wheelchair, he was just laying there.
He was a vegetable.
He was a vegetable. And actually, before he got that way, when he could talk and walk around, that was just an actor.
Yeah.
He was just an actor.
That was a scientist that had died young, and they said, well, let's put his body. We're scientists. We can keep him alive, and we'll use him. We'll use his brain-dead vegetative state.
Every single mainstream narrative, which is hilarious. But these are also the same type of...
You know, as an aside, I didn't know Stephen Hawking was British until like way later because his computer voice didn't have an English accent. So I didn't know until I saw like an older video where he could actually talk. And then I was like, oh, I didn't even know.
Do you know what his computer voice didn't have an accent at all. It wasn't until
like it speaks more American. It has more of an American accent.
It's just computer voice, right?
It speaks with American inflection with the way it pronounces words. Yep. Kind of like there's like an American style and a British style TTS through Streamlabs.
Yeah, there is now. They've been able to like work with inflection.
Okay, Billy. Believe everything you see on TV. Oh, you read one article.
Literally, there was back in the day on The Real World when they were in England, the one guy that he got his tongue bit off and he was speaking through a computer like that, and he even said, "Now I'm stuck with a fucking American accent." It is American. Like,
that's funny.
Yeah. There's no way of speaking that isn't some kind of accent. Like, everything can be categorized as some sort of accent.
On the internet, and that's what you believe. But science tells
if they wanted their own accent, they should have invented the software to do that.
Yeah, that's fine. That we gotta trust the science. And literally every single person who is hating on me is either an atheist, it has a mask in their profile picture, has pronouns in their bio, is homosexual or bisexual, or is
that's a lot of different categories.
A woman with no children or husband. And
that's so many people you just covered there.
Which one did we fall under?
Atheist. That's about it. Let me go through his list one more time.
I might start believing in God just so that I can hate him without
sexual, or is a woman with no children.
Hold on.
Who is hating on me is either an atheist.
Okay, there's one.
It has a mask in their profile picture.
Nope.
Has pronouns in their bio, is homosexual or bisexual, or is a woman with no children or husband. And ironically, of course, they're saying things like, oh, yeah, some Christian you are for making fun of the disabled. You're ableist. If you're using terms like ableist, do you actually expect me to take you seriously? And I'm getting all of this hate over something so dumb. And they were just like not addressing any of my points that I was making. They were usually just
none of your points or anything other than your own assumptions without any actual evidence, and a lot of them are fallacious. I mean, Helen Keller never flew on air. Like, you make it sound like you even said she was a pilot. She was not a pilot. Like, you don't have to be a pilot to be on a plane up in the sky and the pilot's like, here, hold the controls. Literally, all you do is like hold the controls straight. That's all you do.
going straight to ad hominem attacks, saying that I'm stupid, saying that, oh, what, you don't believe Obama or Stephen Hawking exists either, and just all of these non sequiturs. And anybody who watched the video or has any type of critical thinking whatsoever, when I say Helen Keller is fake, I'm not saying that the person didn't exist and was an illusion. The person Helen Keller obviously existed. The narrative surrounding Helen Keller is what is fake, which I explained in that video. And then people were saying like, oh, well, this is a person who went deaf and blind and they're an activist, so Helen Keller definitely could have been an activist. And then I looked them up and it's like, well, they didn't lose all of their vision or all of their hearing. And I think one of the people who lost most of their vision and hearing, who they were talking about, that is still like politically active, didn't lose their vision and hearing until they were already a grown adult. That is completely separate from what I was talking about with Helen Keller. Helen Keller went blind and deaf at 19 months old, and nobody in the history of time before or since Helen Keller was able to.
There are people with similar issues that were able to learn how to communicate and take care of themselves in many ways. But Helen Keller stands out as a famous one because of how early she lost her vision and her hearing, and how far she progressed once she learned how to communicate. This isn't a totally unbelievable story. It's well within the bounds of reality.
Talk or function as a normal human being in society.
Her brain functioned fine. She just couldn't communicate, and she couldn't see or hear. There was a mind. There was an intelligent mind in there that made this capable.
Let alone be a political activist, write 12 books, and fly a fucking plane with her condition. It is impossible. This is not controversial. That anybody who could just hear this story and look into the facts for a tiny second would see that. But people are so eager to give in to social pressure that they need to conform to the mainstream narrative of literally everything. Even people who have this natural instinct to go against the grain and to ask uncomfortable questions would still rather be accepted by society's consensus rather than be their own person. And all of the guys that were mocking me were saying things like, get laid, you need to go get some girls. And that's part of the reason why I don't get offended or upset at all of this hate that I'm getting. It's because, first of all, I'm better looking than literally every single guy who criticizes me. The best is when somebody criticizes you and they have a profile picture of their face and they're just...
I like how he says, I'm better looking than every single guy that criticized me. Like he went to find every guy that criticized him and then judge them on an attractive level. When he could just say, I'm married with children, I'm doing just fine. But he didn't, because the truth is he does need to get laid, and he needs to get laid by Nick Fuentes and or another alt-right bang boy, because that's his latent homosexuality is making him uncomfortable. Like, you have a wife, and you literally could have said, I have a wife, I don't need to get laid. But you said you went and said that you go and you judge men's appearances. I don't think you understand this, Spexo. That's your latent homosexuality coming out. I'm sorry, dude.
Looking, so you just quote tweet and just reply with their picture and nothing else. It's like, can one person criticizing me be better looking than me so I could actually have an argument and not just make it easy for me where I could just show your face and win the...
So...
He wants to find somebody who looks better than him so he can hate bang them.
I guess so. That's what it sounds like.
If you look better than me,
I'll only talk to you if you're better looking than me.
If you're better looking than I am, then you come over and hate bang me right now, bend me over the back of my car and ride me out rugged, okay? If you're that hot, please come do it. Weirdo.
I can't believe you put that in this video and didn't realize how gay it sounded and
I can
clip
believe
it out.
I can believe it. The man's name comes from a point in time where he was more open with his homosexuality. When he was talking about smegma and stuff.
Yeah.
Argument by default. And also, as far as go get laid, go get girls. It's like, bro, I'm happily married. I have 2 children. I own my own house. I'm very well off financially.
Yeah, this number 2 would have been a perfect number 1 and left there, and you'd have been just fine in your answer. Like, yeah, he's right. He doesn't need to go girls. He's got a wife and kids. But you made this your number 2, and your number 1 was literally talking about how you want to find an attractive guy to dominate you. That's literally what your number 1 was. You see the problem here.
I only want to verbally spar with the handsome boys.
I'm sorry, it's true.
People hate on me also so much is that
You're highly regarded,
I don't
my
fit
friend.
into the narrative that they try to portray. They always like to say that, oh, right-wing people are incels and they can't get girls. They're the outcasts of society. I'm actually very well liked. I contribute.
I don't care about any of that. I just think you're dumb as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care how much you get laid. I don't care how good looking you think you are, or even how good looking other people think you are. I just think you're dumb as fuck.
I actually think he's well liked because other than all the dumb stuff he says, I actually like him. I think if it wasn't for all that dumb stuff, he'd be an okay dude. It's the dumb stuff, though, Ben, that stops him from being okay with me.
Why do you think he's an okay dude?
Goes to work. He's got a wife and kids. He's an okay guy. Then he opens his damn mouth with a horrible opinion.
You try so hard to like people.
It's not hard to like people.
To my community, I go to church every Sunday. I have a good reputation as a family man, and this is not to brag or anything like that. It's like when you're self-established and you aren't pretending to be something you're not. What can anybody really say to you to offend you? Oh, and then people were like, "Oh, you don't believe in Helen Keller, but you believe in God." It's like, yeah, I'm not Helen Keller. I'm not retarded. Of course, I believe in God. And it's like there's more evidence of Jesus Christ being God than there is.
There's no conclusive evidence that Jesus Christ ever existed.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that all those priests just touched each other on the hands and talked about Jesus Christ the same way Anne Sullivan had her hand contact with Helen Keller. Like, to say that there's more reason to believe in Jesus than Helen Keller is absolutely psycho.
The dumb stuff, you mean the entirety of his character? You know what? I don't think this is genuine from Billy. I think this is part of the character Billy plays, where he pretends to like people who are fucking disgusting. To like, I don't know, because he's an edgy boy. He plays the contrarian side.
I mean, I don't have to dislike somebody just because I know to stay away from them and their stupid ideas.
Okay.
I'm not going to say he's a horrible person just because he has horrible ideas.
Okay.
I think if he's out here going to work and having a family, he's got a whole bunch of stuff in his life he should be happy about, and he should focus on that over his stupid-ass opinions.
Okay.
Of Helen Keller being deaf and blind from the age of 19 months and being able to perform all these neat little tricks. If Jesus was like Helen Keller, then it would be like Jesus would be with one disciple, and that disciple is the only one who saw Jesus perform miracles, and this one guy was telling everybody like, oh no, Jesus...
I mean, I've seen David Blaine perform miracles too. Do you believe he's as powerful as Jesus? Actually, the stuff David Blaine has done, if you take it at face value, is way more amazing than anything Jesus did in the Bible.
Yeah, if we're going to tier rank amazing people, David Blaine is leaps and bounds more amazing than Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Jesus did parlor tricks.
Yeah. David Blaine, he brought people back time and time again for the same show. How many people went back to see Jesus turn water into wine more than once? Only the alcoholics.
Oh, man.
Like you and I, we'd have been coming back to get some Jesus wine.
I like wine.
We would have.
Totally performed miracles that saw him rise from the dead, and everybody else just went along with it without seeing it or having any eyewitnesses or anything like that. But that's not what happened. There were like hundreds of witnesses who were around Jesus during his life and after his resurrection who've seen him get crucified. His miracles are well documented.
So many people got crucified. Like, if he was the only person that got crucified, it'd be like a more believable claim, but so many people got crucified on a regular basis during the Roman occupation. I mean, it could have been anybody.
Documented from third-party sources who weren't even religious, and people...
What are their names? Who are these sources? Can I know? Like, who was it?
Who had no reason to believe in Jesus Christ, were willing to be murdered for their belief in him, who personally witnessed his resurrection. So there is far more evidence surrounding Jesus Christ being God than there is of Helen Keller flying a plane as a person who went deaf and blind at the age of 19 months. Also,
Jesus never flew a plane.
Point out is that if people are
you should be able to fly without a plane.
Offended by something as silly as acknowledging that Helen Keller.
See, saying that they're offended, I mean, maybe some of them were offended. I'm not offended. I just think you're dumb, and it's kind of disturbing how dumb you are.
Was not the genius that we're told she was. Imagine how mad they'll get at more controversial things. And this is why people who try to make World War II and other historical events part of their platform in terms of like revisionism and telling different theories, if they try to make that their main platform and try to attract normal people, it's never going to work. People are not responsive to anything that really goes against the grain. That's why optics.
Yeah, so he's I just go against the grain, so people just don't like that. It's like there's valid times to go against the grain, and then there's just ridiculously dumb times to go against the grain.
Yeah, if you want to talk trash about Helen Keller, expect people to be like, dude, this is stupid.
Like being a white nationalist, that's a stupid way to go against the grain. I don't know.
And political strategy and rhetoric are so important. And obviously, I'm not talking about pandering to leftists or anything like that. They're never going to believe anything, whatever. But even to right-wing people or people that are naturally inclined to lean towards the right, whether they're really political or not, or if they're just normie con boomer tiers, whatever, they're not going to be attracted if you go up to them and say like, oh, hey, Mossad was responsible for 9/11. You're going to look like a psychopath. So I think a better way to approach that situation would be like, hey, don't you think it's weird that we've been in all these Middle Eastern countries that have nothing to do with 9/11 for the last 20 years, and it's really benefiting nobody but Israel and the military-industrial complex? You get what I'm saying?
How does it benefit Israel? Like,
I mean, are they enemies with those countries, and we're helping them fight their enemies? Is that the benefit here? I think I
think it helps. I think it can. All it does is keep that region more unstable.
I think the focus on the military-industrial complex is the bigger point we should be facing here.
Of course.
Like, we're spending tons of money every year to continue these wars, which means tons of people are making tons of money off of these wars to this day, even though they really have little reason to exist, I would think. But then we also find other ways to pump money into people's pockets from social programs in America that don't really help Americans socially. You want to say America first? Well, then how about you push for some of this socialism in America? Why don't you start pushing for people to have a universal basic income and Medicare for all and everything else that would put America first, but you're anti that. That's why I really don't buy your America first sentiment.
Well, when he says America, he means white people.
Yes.
Now, I also want to point out that David Blaine would have found a way, and he probably wouldn't do it because people would get mad, but I bet you David Blaine could find a way where it looks like he gets crucified but doesn't die. Like, forget all that coming back from the dead stuff. David Blaine will just get crucified and not die.
I mean, who else did Jesus bring back from the dead?
Lazarus.
Lazarus
was a person in throughout the story of Jesus, his life, like his adulthood, when he was performing miracles, was someone who died that he brought back to life.
Yeah, but how many doctors have brought people back to life?
I mean, doctors have brought people back to life who were like clinically dead, not brain dead, not like clinically dead for a short amount of time.
Yeah.
For a short enough amount of time for them to not be in bad shape when they were revived. I think the Lazarus story alleges that Lazarus was dead for a while.
Could have been fabricated.
Dead. The whole story is fabricated.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, there's more proof that Helen Keller was a damn airline fighter pilot that taught Top Gun than that Jesus Christ existed.
Yeah, because there's proof that Helen Keller had been on airplanes before.
Yeah.
So
there's more proof Helen Keller piss standing up than Jesus Christ was anything ever.
Right.
Than a figment of somebody's imagination.
I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but basically you have to start from a foundation that is easily accessible to normal people, where you're not just immediately coming off as like schizophrenic. The Helen Keller thing antagonized a lot of leftists because they're just incapable of rational thought and critical thinking, obviously, or doing their own research, and they just project their insecurities on other people. But a lot of right-wing people, even normicons, were on my side saying, wow, that actually makes a lot of sense, because it does. And I also love when atheists
it makes a lot of sense because
Jesus.
you want to believe anything that denigrates somebody who believes in leftist values. Oh, you know what? Yeah, no, obviously she must have been a puppet. She believes something I don't believe. Obviously.
Side saying, wow, that actually makes a lot of sense, because it does. And I also love when atheists try to invoke Jesus Christ and say, like, oh, you're not being a good Christian. It's like, you hate Jesus Christ. You have pronouns in your...
No, atheists just don't believe that he existed. We don't hate him. We hate how people use him as an excuse to be pieces of shit.
My mom used to work with somebody who had a similar condition to Helen Keller.
Oh, yeah?
And he did do hand signs by touch.
Yeah,
and it worked. And that's from my mom, who had crossed paths with somebody like this.
Right. It was a breakthrough in education for people who had that sort of disability.
Yeah, my mom doesn't like to talk about it much because when they tried to have him fly the plane, it didn't end well.
Yeah. I think Randy Rhoads was actually a passenger in that plane.
Your bio, you're a homosexual.
My mom said I could sign the alphabet, read simple words, and pressed into his hand. So she was like, she 100% did this herself, you know. So GG Spexo. She said that the guy was not a genius, you know, but he was blind and deaf and could communicate that way.
That's the Helen Keller story is that there was a very intelligent mind that just needed to be unlocked by teaching her how to communicate.
Men and women in all different races are completely interchangeable and nothing matters in terms of identity, especially white people, and you're also probably pro-choice. And you're going to try to lecture me on what it means to be a good Christian? Nah. So if your enemies are hating on you, if Anthony...
Just because someone doesn't believe in Jesus doesn't mean they can't say you're a shitty Christian. They can still look at what Christianity says and look at what you do and what you say and hold those two things up next to each other and be like, nah, it doesn't seem like you actually follow what you say you believe in.
Yeah, like I know a lot of Christians that I think are awesome, wonderful people and that I love and support, and I hope they're right. I really do.
Well, this guy's a Catholic, so like his view, it's a very warped view of Christianity in so many ways.
I just wish there was one religion that was like openly gay and I could have all the sex with guys that I wanted. That's all I want in a religion.
Fantano, the self-hating white rap critic.
Oh, he's talking about Anthony Fantano. Okay.
Is retweeting my Helen Keller post and saying that I don't know what irony means.
I didn't know that. Yeah, that's because it was an ironic tweet or like an ironic meme about Helen Keller. Not meant to be like, no, but really, guys. It wasn't meant to be like that.
There's a good chance that you're doing something right when these people who are enemies of Christ and all things natural are hating on you. So
you know, there's a good chance you're doing something right when you say something so stupid that people with a platform give you a megaphone to speak stupidly into so we can point back and laugh at you. Yes.
Doing my best to live in imitation of Christ, even though, of course, I'm going to fall short. But what did Jesus Christ do? Jesus Christ spread the truth, and they hated him for it. So,
if you want to live like Jesus Christ, the best thing you can do is convert to Judaism.
I have another video from him, but I've had enough of him for now. Maybe we should...
we'll save that one. Because I am feeling the stink of Spexo seeping into my back sweat.
Yeah, it's stinky sometimes. Stinky Spexo.
Got to clean behind the frenulum.
So, everyone, please like the stream. Tonight's post show will be on twitch.tv/Drunken Peasants. So you should go over there and follow us there if you haven't already.
If you dare.
Yeah. We're going to go over there, hang out a little bit, just kind of shoot the breeze. We'll also maybe do a little bit of gaming. I got the Switch down here. I got some other stuff down here. So we're going to hang out and have fun over there. It's kind of a more laid back. We don't watch too many videos. We kind of just talk about whatever we want to talk about. Twitch helps support the show too. So if some of you guys are apprehensive about Twitch, just give it a shot. And we will do the post show over there after this show's over.
Let us lay you down by the fire.
Later on this month, we've got Adam from Your Movie Sucks coming on. He's going to be on one of the shows with Scott.
That's going to be great.
Yeah, it's let's see which one was that.
But I bet you don't have Lacey Green coming back.
We have Lacey Green on March 20th.
What?
Yes. Yes.
Let's see if I can do this again. I bet you don't have is Tom Green coming on?
No, we
Damn.
don't.
Okay.
We don't.
Okay.
That bastard.
Thought I could summon another Green if it was possible.
Yeah.
I say Lacey Green's a pretty good get.
Yeah.
And Adam with Scott is going to be great.
Yep.
That's going to be. I look forward to that one for sure.
And by the way, those of you who don't like Twitch, you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe Twitch is awful, but we're so good, we make up for it, and that's enough for you to go over to that site, that awful, horrible site, just to see us.
Look, y'all, I just want y'all to go over there, y'all, and see us over there, y'all.
See? Y'all see?
Y'all see, y'all?
Y'all see us on Twitch, y'all? Y'all see?
Y'all see?
Y'all see? Y'all see? I'm glad all of you agree. 100% of you agree with the statement I just made. Thank you. I knew I was right, but your validation shows for sure that I was completely and totally right.
I can't remember what you were right about. Was it something about Anne Frank being made up?
No.
Oh. Interesting. I want to thank everybody who gave us those donos today. It's been a particularly wonderful Tuesday for me. I actually woke up at 4 a.m. and 4 p.m. today. So I woke up at 4 a.m. and I watched a bunch of Miyazaki stuff, and then I fell asleep again and woke up at 4 p.m. again. It's crazy when you wake up at both fours. Doesn't happen to me that often.
Hey, Spec, I don't know, like, you claim that you go to Twitch and that it doesn't work for... Only our streams on Twitch don't work for you. It's like, why does it work at all for other people? Like, what could possibly be the issue on our end that causes it not to work for you and a few other people?
I think we definitely have to call Spec a liar here.
There's only so many Twitch settings. What's the setting?
You're a liar, Spec. No, some people do have a problem with Twitch. I've seen, so it does happen. I'm not sure exactly why, but it's unfortunate because it's a great platform when you can get it to work.
I think you just need to move into this century with internet connections.
That could be part of the problem. We don't really know. I do know this. I think Spec was completely made up by Anne Sullivan or Temple Grandin. That was a sweet commentary that I just gave. I'm going to be called ableist now and canceled.
Ableist. All right. Here is Oddity.
Cleave disappear. Cleave disappear. Cleave disappear. Cleave disappear.
No, none of that is true. We want Spec to be able to watch if they want to watch, but I mean,
I love Spec, and I would do everything I could.
There's no other settings. And like I'm even streaming with different software now than I used to be. So they just don't. I think you have to be partnered to allow people to downscale.
You do, yeah.
Otherwise, it just comes in at whatever resolution you're streaming at.
It's true.
Yeah, I think that might be it. I think it has to downscale, or you have a. Is that true?
It's a weird thing with if you're not partnered, there is a downscaling issue. So it definitely is.
Weird.
Best podcast ever.
All right, so you thought Kalo's stand-up was bad.
Oh, I don't know.
Thanks. Uriah Westman.
When you can't get a gig at a comedy club, so you're going to city council to test out your material.
This is like a big brain move.
And then
Wait
the
till you hear
final
the
speaker will
comedy.
be Andrea Pullman.
Hey, I'm Uriah. It was really awkward doing the Pledge of Allegiance because I'm Canadian, so I kind of went with it. I did vote in the last election, even though I'm Canadian. I'm like, let's see what happens. If a Russian can vote, why can't I, right? Being from Canada, I'm not used to the sun, you know? So it's just sitting there, on the bench, sweating like a Republican applying for food stamps. I never have issues parking. I don't know. I feel weird. I can always park. I went down to Las Vegas to be part of the Blue Man Group. And then my car broke down. They say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. In this case, it was my car in my dreams.
This is Kalo level comedy.
This is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm peeing my pants right now. Not laughing. It's so
Not
great.
laughing.
I'm peeing my pants in silence right now.
Because, see, I had AAA, but I'm from Canada, right? So I had the Canadian version. It's when 3 Canadians get out and fight over who's going to help you. AAA.
I feel like he has an effect or a filter on his face that squishes his face down to where his mouth should be. It's great.
Yeah, his face is all bunched together in the center.
He's got bunchy face.
I've never had more respect for city council than what
They
you
say
guys
that like
probably
a face
are feeling.
usually your nose is supposed to be like the center point of your face, and I cannot see this guy's his nose is like it's not true for this man.
In a second here, he admits something that totally like invalidates his entire act.
Uh-oh.
Why is the audio dead?
I probably hit an audio dead button.
What did you do, dude?
I don't know if I actually did anything.
Okay.
Was there a mute? Uh-oh. Did it hit M?
Westman.
You did it.
Are you here? And then
Thank
the
you,
final
Fixol.
speaker will be Andrea Pullman.
Damn it.
I'm from Canada, right? So I had the Canadian version. It's when 3 get it over you. AAA. I've never had more respect for city council than what you guys probably are feeling right now with me talking. I am American. I didn't commit voter fraud. That was a joke. Just a clear thing.
So he's not even Canadian.
He was doing a bit.
His entire bit was based on him being Canadian.
Yeah, most bits are not based in
Things
reality.
up with the gentleman in the back, the police officer. I work in the funk zone, and I hate it. Everyone asks me, is this the funk zone? Yes.
There's been plenty of comedians that have done bits based on their real life, like their family and everything.
But there are a lot of bits are lies, too. It's comedy.
Have any of you guys rode the Greyhound before? The Greyhound is the Cards Against Humanity of travel.
Oh, my God.
You just never know if you're going to get stabbed. Am I right? I'm wasting my time thinking. People don't think anymore. I'm like a live Twitter feed at this point. You know what I mean? I was watching. No, I wasn't.
Mr. Westman, thank you
That's
so
my
much.
time. Hey.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Ms. Pullman, Come on up.
They have to listen to it too. It's awful.
The guy behind him, the old guy behind him, had like this cringy, like uncomfortable smile. He was like, "Oh, this is so good. It's bad. I love it." Poor guy. All he wanted to do was become the next Jim Carrey, who was Canadian.
What the fuck is up, YouTube? And now I got a P.O. box set up. The zip code is 82601, so if fans want to send me stuff, they can.
He's
and you can address it John Saunders, King Cobra JFS, you know what I'm saying? Got the King Cobra, Cobra Craft handmade wands. Either one of those works. Post office I go to get it. We'll hold the package for at least 15 days before, you know what I'm saying? This next song I believe will be song number 5. God damn it, I gotta piss like a racehorse.
You and me both, Cobes.
Now I got some frozen pizzas. I might food hack later on today. We'll see how I'm feeling on that. No, I really don't care about trolls, but someone thought it'd be funny if they're like, dude, you should make a Rip Troll shirt. It'd be funnier than shit, because they're always making fun of you and your friends dying when they haven't. I'm like, that would be kind of funny, actually. So that's why I made that. Ain't nobody buying that shit. Yeah, I would disagree, because someone did actually buy a mug. So you could take your misinformation and go fuck yourself.
Ooh.
Ain't nobody gonna buy that shit. Yeah, right. I seen it firsthand. Slaying trolls and smoking bowls. Yeah, punk rock, you know it. Dude, totally needs a new hat. Nope, I like the way my hat is shaped. It fits my head just comfortably, and it's misshapen on purpose.
Is that
you have
an
alcohol problem and you need to address that? Yeah, I have such an alcohol problem that I'm not drinking right now. Kiss my ass. You can address your comment to my ass because he's the only one that gives a shit. Seriously, if I had an alcohol problem, I'd be slamming a gallon of Jack Daniels right now. Kiss my ass. I'm not allowed to have a drink every now and then without someone being like, oh my God. Even though I cut down on my drinking, people still say I have a problem. Fuck you, dude.
Whoa, dude.
Your hat has character. Goddamn right. Damn, bro. You look like you got a fat ass, bro.
Thick.
Yeah. I don't care. Yeah, I'm so fucking... Oh, shit. Don't want to get banned on YouTube. Good thing I age restricted it. Yeah, I'm so fucking fat, dude. Let me...
Did he really just let the donger flop? Did he really have the donger flop? Is that really where we're living right now? That's okay, just some root. It's more than we needed to know.
Tell you. Holy shit. You should save that for the Patreon.
Sticky's in there regretting missing the Cobes donger flop. I like that, Sticky. GG. Maybe you should buy a mug.
Haha, sexy content. Jeez. How do you stay so lean? Well, I walk everywhere. I ride bike in the summer. I'll ride bike whenever the weather is permittable and if I'm in the mood. I have a high metabolism.
Then while you were gone, you missed a donger flop. His donger flopped out.
Really?
It was covered.
Oh,
but they put an image above it to cover it, but he just straight up had his donger flop.
That's awful.
That's like...
I'm glad it was edited.
Yeah, it definitely was edited.
Bats are like on their way to 70 cents a bat right now. Yeah. They're at 68 right now. They've gone up 19% in the last 24 hours. And in the last month, they've gone up 113%.
Yeah.
In the last month.
Yeah.
Yes. This is pretty huge for people who have a lot of bats.
I walk everywhere. I ride bike. Okay.
I ride bike.
I ride bike.
He sounded foreign there.
We're going to food hack a
Bats
frozen
to the
pizza.
moon.
You want to see this, YouTube? Do you want to see this? I don't think you can handle how awesome this cheese pizza is going to be. Psh. a screaming Sicilian.
Are you gonna put a bunch of dumb stuff all over it and ruin it?
He better.
Pizza Co.
He better.
Bessie's Revenge Cheese Pizza. So we're gonna add some bacon, some buffalo sauce, and some chips to it.
Chips! Oh God, I hate you. You should go to jail for doing
What do you guys think? That sound good? Show that logo, baby. Thick cut bacon. We're gonna buffalo sauce, and we need some chips. Ruffles, cheddar and sour cream, and some nacho cheese Doritos.
No.
And crush them up on top with our bacon and our buffalo sauce.
Do you cook the chips on top?
Thick as fuck.
Don't ask
bacon.
me. I think this is an abomination.
I feel like
Good thing when I dropped it, it was in the case. Now that's some thick bacon. Just kidding. I'm not eating it raw. It's gross. Okay.
As opposed to the other stuff you eat. Oh, but this is gross. That's gross.
All right, so we got the buffalo sauce on top with our chips. Next time I would put chips on the cheese first, so that way the cheese melts and sticks to our chips.
This is how like Taco Bell has polluted our culture because they put chips and tacos together, and now people like this are gonna mess up pizza with some chips. No,
and then put the bacon and then the buffalo sauce.
I just don't see how the chips
kind of fuck that
hold
up.
their structural
but
integrity after being like baked with, because like there's a lot of like vapors and stuff, wetness that happens here.
Yeah.
I don't see the chips being crunchy. I see them being soggy. I could be wrong.
I'm sure
Nachos obviously are crispy
fine,
to a
just the
point,
same.
but
Fuck
I
it,
don't
I'm
know.
staying
If it's
here.
crunchy, it's smart.
And I'm gonna fuck that fat girl right over there. Ah, shit. Ron White's hilarious. But check this out. The Screaming Sicilian box comes with this little mustache that you can put up your nose. And I didn't quite get it all out. This little chunk fell off at the end here. Stick it up in your nose like that.
This is cute.
And that's what you're supposed to do with it.
He's cute.
Scream at us at screamsicilian.com. Ah, okay. I better look stupid with this mustache in.
It's an improvement, actually. Should wear it all the time.
Now I want to try and make a pizza that is topped with nachos. Like you know how you bake nachos in the oven? If you can make a pizza, the top of it is like nachos. That would be great. I don't know if it's possible. I want to live this life. I want to make like a taco pizza, nacho top taco pizza. Can we make this happen?
I need to talk to you urgent. Your pizza, I'm Italian, okay? Yeah, you have many Italian friends that it is to me. I visited Wyoming for a visit.
Is this like
I highly doubt that's a real Italian, dude.
I highly doubt
I'm not
it's a real
trying to be Italian, okay? I like pizza. We got cheese dangles, dude.
I was gonna say this is racism against Italians, and now they're mad and calling.
Look at the cheese dangle, man.
They got cheese
They're
dangle, man.
delicious.
I don't know. Pizza's not some sort of sacred thing to me.
Shit.
They put mashed potatoes
This
on
is
pizza.
why
They
I
put
should've
macaroni
put
and cheese on pizza.
The bacon on last because it's now undercooked. Dude, seriously. And if I put the pizza in there for a lot longer just to get the bacon to cook all the way through, God damn it, now I'm not going to be able to eat this whole pizza.
That's why when they sell these pizzas in the store frozen, the bacon on it isn't raw. It's pre-cooked and then frozen. Like you're putting raw meat on there and expecting it to cook at the same time as like the directions on the box, you idiot. Seriously.
He should have baked the bacon separately. Bake some bacon,
Yeah, do
dude.
that. Yeah.
Bake some bacon.
Right. You make the bacon, you pre-cook the bacon, and then put it on the or stop adding all this dumb stuff. Buy a frozen pizza that has bacon on it.
Oh, like I'm all for, being a culinary adventurer, even if your taste is terrible. But when you make a mistake because you try to feature creep and you put raw bacon in your pizza, you're doing it to yourself, man.
Because of that raw bacon, dude. That's just salmonella waiting to happen. Great. You know, Misa thinks next time I go to put bacon on a fucking pizza that maybe I should cook it before putting it on there.
Wow.
I love it.
We learn from our mistakes.
Yes, we do.
Other than my blundering fuck up of a mistake, this pizza turned out pretty good.
He's an optimist. He's an optimist.
Until he reaches his boiling point, and then he's like breaking things.
Because he's also an autist.
He's an optimist.
Optimist.
Raw bacon.
Optimus Prime.
Shit. Yeah, look at that. The bacon's all fucking raw.
Is he gonna break stuff now?
I can't eat that. Well, this would be fun. Let's food hack a pizza. Hey, dipshit. Look at that. The balls of you can fucking cook a pizza right. It's fucking amazing. You can tie it on.
This is when you turn off the stream before you have this meltdown.
You should,
yeah. Fucking pizza because I can't fucking be smart enough to go, oh, maybe you should cook the bacon next time before you put it on top.
You even said, oh, this is raw. I can't eat it raw.
Idiots.
Oh, baby, I like it raw.
All that food gone to waste because I can't fucking cook. Oh, I can cook. I just got to be a bit smarter about it. Like, fuck, now I got all these fucking crumbs everywhere.
This sucks so bad to me because I really wanted him to tell me whether or not the chips were good. I was going to take his review of the chips as gospel.
To have a bit more fucking common sense. You know what, YouTube, that's all right. That's part of life. We learn from our mistakes. So next time I make the pizza, cook the bacon, put the chips on first. That way the bacon doesn't come out raw when you eat it. Salmonella poisoning coming in nicely, tubes.
Salmonella poisoning coming in nicely, tubes. He's funny, dude. I wish Copes would go to his local
city council.
City council, was that what that was? City
Something
council
like
meeting,
that.
stand up. Just have Copes go to city council, and be like, so I had raw bacon today. I'm like, so
salmonella coming in nicely, city council. Because he always says wherever he is, because I've seen videos where he's streaming on Facebook. He's like, what's up, Facebook? What is, dude, that stain on his carpet is getting bigger. Whatever that is. Does he just keep spilling bleach in that spot?
I think that's his jerk zone. He just busts them right
Maybe
over
you
there.
just eat the pizza as is. You don't gotta fucking food hack everything you eat.
Exactly. That's my point. He got the point.
Shit. Fucking retarded fuck, dude. This is irritating. So smack the like button if you want to see me recreate that pizza. Minus the buffalo sauce now because I'm out of that.
No buffalo sauce.
Fucking retarded fucking piece of fucking ugly.
Like, if you really want buffalo, what you should do is like, and I don't even like this on pizza, but this is how I could see buffalo sauce on a pizza. Like, if you like get some chicken and like you know, cook it, maybe marinate it in buffalo sauce and then put it on. Like, I could see that, like a buffalo chicken pizza.
When I worked at Domino's, I worked there when they introduced the buffalo chicken kickers they used to have.
Mm-hmm.
And when they first came in, we had Frank's Red Hot sauce for the buffalo wings you sell. And we took a deep dish crust and we covered it with like jalapenos and cheese and used the Frank's Red Hot sauce as the base sauce. And put the chicken kickers on. We cut the chicken kickers up so they weren't huge, like the small little ones, and put them on there. So it was edible bites of chicken. And it was a buffalo chicken pizza. And it was good enough. We did it once. We're like, that wasn't bad. Won't do it again.
Did you see the Pizza Hut doing the Detroit style pizza?
No.
No? You haven't seen this?
No.
Basically, the sauce goes on top over the cheese.
Interesting.
It's a like a, I don't know if it's deep dish. It's like a thicker pizza.
We would call the chicken kickers at our work colon kickers because everybody who would eat them would get like Dyers. They'd get the monkey claw in their gut.
Let me show you what it's kind of interesting. Yeah, the Detroit style
pizza.
So It's a thick.
This is Pizza Hut.
Yeah, Pizza Hut.
Okay.
Yeah, Pizza Hut.
Yeah, for some reason I was thinking Domino's was doing this, but
I
just
thought I said Pizza Hut, but
you
I
might have. We were coming in from my Domino's talk. Interesting. Review bruh. He is my guy. I will watch him talk about any food. I haven't watched him for a while, so it's nice to know that he's still out there getting it in. He must have got lost to the algorithm. YouTube makes people I love disappear from me, and that bothers me. That's not coming in very nicely, too.
Fuck. Dumbass fucking retarded fuck. Spurg.
Wow.
He's very hard on himself.
I hate how it won't let me answer the fucking phone or answer my text messages when people are trying to call me. Retarded. You want to talk about self-esteem? Mine's fucking lousy. I have a very lousy self-esteem. Another reason why my trolls don't get to me, they're calling me a retard and shit. I'm like, cool, man. Thanks for noticing. I call myself a retard on a daily basis.
That's not how you react.
Got me all kinds of pissed off right now, man. Fucking bullshit.
I really want to be
Mr. Gotta food hack everything. That's not even a food hack. You're just adding bacon to pizza. Ooh. That could be why people find my videos entertaining. They see this guy trying to make a pizza and he fucks up on it.
I think I'm going to start a Kickstarter to become Cobb's life coach. I'm just going to put it up there. They'll give me like $10,000 Kickstarter goal. I'll fly down to Wyoming and turn him into an amazing person.
You relate to it.
He's already got
just like
a diamond in the rough sensibility.
Well, we shared a couple of laughs. Watch Cobra fuck up on the pizza. Laughed our asses off of some Ron White. I'll catch you later. Subscribe for more entertaining content.
Yes, Cobes. GG.
All right. So in a few, we're going to do Twitch, twitch.tv/Drunken Peasants. We're going to go like directly over there too.
We're going in, it's going down.
You should all go there. I am going to... So we're going to go directly live, so the streams will be streaming at the same time for a short amount of time before we go over there. If you want to hang out, it'll be a chill, laid-back kind of stream. Hype train.
It'll be a return to the 1990s.
Feel the vibrations.
Maybe not. We'll see. Does that wrap us up here, Benjamin?
I think it does. I just have to set up a few things really quick here.
While you do, I'm going to take this time to thank everybody for being a part of episode 849. I said at the beginning of this night that it was going to be one for the ages, and I think now that it's basically done with, that I was right, as always. And everybody who enjoyed this live, thank you. And for people who are watching this recorded, please leave a thank you to me in the comments. Just say, thank you, Billy, for making episode 849 the greatest episode in the history of Drunken Peasants podcast. It's really all I can ask for.
And now we're about to have the greatest post show in the history of Drunken Peasants podcast.
Live on twitch.tv/Drunken Peasants.
Go there now. Oh no.
In the beginning, there was nothing, and then there was the Drunken Peasants Podcast.
Drunken Peasants, Drunken Peasants, Drunken Peasants, Drunken Peasants. From the strangest corners of the internet, gonna get TP'd by Billy and Ben. You know where you can find them at. Get ready, cause they're gonna kick your... Drunken Peasants, Drunken Peasants, Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants.